Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's good. Where it's at?
100 North Main.
Okay, y'all gonna be doing grills in there?
You already know.
Oh, okay. What's it called then, bro?
It's called
Grills on Main Street. 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 What's up, Stacking Smith?
Yeah. Check. Yeah. What's good? It's your boy Peanut, CEO of Dash Resource LLC. I got my man Elyon in the building.
What's up with it, man? I'm Elyon. Welcome to the Conscious Conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, we want to do something where we just build on just life subject and let people have an opportunity to weigh in. You can always call the show. But during the course of these shows, what we'll do is, we'll build on different things, and then we'll take the best clips for what we do and then post it to our Instagram and then chop it up as such. But during the show, you can always call in and you can always give your take on some of the subjects that we're talking about. All right, we got my sis Jasmine Wood.
With a Y. With a
Jasmine
Y, not
Woods. Yes.
With an S. I said
And a
Wood.
Y.
I said Wood is Woods.
Yes.
Check yourself before
Exactly.
you wreck yourself.
Get it right.
Jazz, let me ask you something.
Yes.
So, what's good about life?
Ooh. All the stuff that we don't have time to enjoy,
Mm.
like nature,
Mm-hmm.
the sun, just sitting in it, enjoying it,
And what's good about that?
just having time for yourself, taking that deep breath, enjoying nothingness inside all of the chaoticness that we go through from a day-to-day basis.
True. Okay. But I want to get to the micro level of something like that. So,
Okay.
So, why don't you have time to enjoy that?
I think we get so lost in what we do, and then like other things start to factor in, like depression or whatever, or mom's got to have hip surgery, whatever it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like you get like so in your head, so like even when you do have the time and space to go do that, you just don't. You're mentally tired, so then you become physically tired.
And going out, when's the last time you went out and went into nature?
I mean, I sit with my dogs when I take them out, but like to actually sit.
I'm talking about the things that you don't have time for. When is the
Oh.
last time that you said, I'm going to make time to do this?
When I went to Hawken Hills in 2016.
So 2016 is the last time you did something that you wanted to do.
I mean, as far as like a vacation without my son or like any like girlfriends, yeah.
Do you know that there's nature places that's like around here that you don't got to drive that far to go to? Where you can walk trails, you can go out and you can look at the trees. You can
I mean, I go
the
to,
flowers and everything.
but see, here's the
Clifton Gorge
thing.
was my favorite place to go. Clifton Gorge is amazing.
I mean, Inglewood. I just took my daughter and watched the sunset in Inglewood, and there's a little. It's a park. It's like Inglewood Park, and they got all these trails. There's a lake there.
Mhm.
They got beautiful trees. They got trails that you can walk. You sit there and you can listen to the birds chirp and all the different type of animals. You can examine the bark on the trees. And
I didn't say I
Love
didn't
the
go
trees.
out, but like usually my son's with me.
but why not teach your son?
Teach him what? He loves nature.
Right. So why not take him into the nature that's around here for right now?
I do, but you were asking about me.
But you brought up your son as to why you haven't done it.
Exactly.
Take him with you.
I do take him with me. But I'm saying me by myself. I was taking it as
Well-
like me time.
All right. Well, what about coming to a podcast?
Hi.
You here doing that?
What's up?
So,
Yeah.
And I wasn't even gonna come.
Oh,
There you
whoa.
And I'm here. I wasn't.
but you will later.
You sound so convincing on the phone. Like I knew you was coming.
Don't lie for the people.
You will later.
All right, how about we talk about, I get to pick the topics. Caligula, all that.
Say less. But you might have to tell me what some of this shit means. Now, what was that word you just said?
Caligula?
Caligula.
Oh, he's a figure. He was a Roman emperor.
All right. And what's interesting about him?
So, I'm not going to get the time periods right, but he was basically like locked up outside of Italy or whatever in like a tower. Nobody really knows his back history. His uncle was, I don't know, popular or whatever, but that's how he came to fame, and he became an emperor through his uncle basically, but he tricked everybody. He became a madman. But he did certain things like having his face on money. That's one thing that America got from him. So
Yeah. And you find him interesting.
yeah,
All
I feel
right.
like it's gonna make me sound crazy, but
Now I want to build on
there's-
it. So what's cool about him? mean,
I
what's
feel like
something
in
that you
madness,
did?
there's little glimpses of genius. And like I said, the coin thing, like him putting his face on it, we picked that up. And like nobody talks about it. It's like little history that nobody knows about.
Now listen, I almost got canceled because I brought up some of the I brought up some contributions of Hitler, so that we wouldn't have the highway.
You see what I'm talking about? The
No,
light
I'm
in the
saying,
dark.
But we wouldn't have the highway if it weren't for Hitler. I mean, well, maybe someone would have had that thought process later, but wouldn't have it as quickly because he developed the Autobahn so they can move faster.
He did blow up dolls too.
Did what?
Blow up dolls, that came from him.
He a sick
I'm telling you.
Hitler was a sick dude.
Google it, I'm dead ass.
Hugo Boss, which was a nice fashion statement.
Hugo Boss.
Mhm.
What's that?
That was their uniform.
Oh, okay. So is that a designer or what?
Yeah. And the Volkswagen, Beetle.
So wait, Hugo Boss is the designer?
Yup.
So what does that have to do with Hitler?
That's who designed their uniform with the swastika on it.
Oh.
Hugo Boss.
Yeah.
All right, I know that, but why are we attributing Hugo Boss to Hitler? Because Hitler liked his clothing?
Well, he chose that designer to dress his fascist party in.
Okay.
His fashion party. Because
So-
those suits was fly out of love.
Was he German?
Yes, I would assume so.
He was what?
German.
German.
Hugo?
Yeah, I was asking. Because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why can't he say no? Like, is that his home?
Is Hugo Boss, like, is that still a design? Like, that's, like, it's a...
Yeah, but they more or less do like cologne and stuff like that now. Like they kind of do that, but it's kind of like they've rebranded to Hugo Boss New York.
So, so
crazy.
that brings us to an interesting
Right.
conversation. Can somebody who does evil massively still have redeeming qualities?
I think so. We talk about the Bible. I mean, we talk about Moses was a murderer or something like that. He was a person that was going to hell, and he had his whole redemptive.
Moses was going to hell.
What was it, Moses or somebody else? Was it somebody else? I'm mixing the story up, ain't it? What was it, Abraham? Somebody was a murderer in the
Don't ask
Bible,
me.
and through the whole story, he became redemptive or whatever in that story. So I believe, yeah, like I mean,
I feel like we got to go out
I
of...
can make a bad decision, and if I change my ways afterwards, then I've learned from my mistakes.
But we're talking about not somebody that makes, just because you make mistakes or you do something that's bad one time doesn't make you a bad person overall. But we're talking about somebody that does something on a massive scale, which is considered to be terrible. For example, let's say Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if somebody has killed hundreds of people or dozens of people just to thrill kill, can you say, in spite of that, they're a good person because let's say that they were a teacher and they taught kids how to do math and some of their students ended up becoming somebody who contributed to society something good, a good inventor or something. Does that person have a redeeming quality about them, or do you just say, you do so much bad, I don't give a fuck what good you do, you just bad now?
I feel like at some point in some of their lives, that's what they were facing. Like they knew what the fuck they were doing, and they didn't have like, oh, I'm gonna tell mom, and mom's still just like, I'm not gonna get you help. You feel me? Like I'm listening to you, but it is what it is. So I feel like in that instance, sometimes they just fall off the wagon. But to answer your question,
Does Hitler
Biblically-
have a redeeming quality about him?
biblically, we are supposed to forgive. So there's that, but like if you did that, like if you were Hitler and I'm sitting next to you, like I can't trust you. Like my eyes always gonna be on you. So I feel like if I can't trust you, then there's no forgiveness.
So before you came, that brings us to something else. Do you, just to answer the question, redeeming? Yes.
Yes, I feel like anybody can change, man. I don't feel like nobody should be reduced.
Not change if they die of doing bad. They did
Oh.
bad and got killed at the reign of their terror. Can you pick something that was good about them?
Oh,
to promote
So
the
you're
good
saying
things
like
that
if they did a lot of great things, but then they died in error, or
Well, let's take George Washington, who was a slave owner.
Mhm.
Here in America, he's still looked at as the first president. He's on the money, like you said. What's the guy's name that we got that from?
Oh, Caligula.
Caligula.
Yeah.
yeah,
So we got George Washington like Caligula on a dollar bill, yet he was a slave owner.
yeah,
The slave trade was terrible, but
Yeah.
he made it the law of the land.
yeah.
And so can George Washington have any redeeming qualities about him?
And that's where that term his story comes from, right? Because it was our story and then his story, right? Where like they literally get a chance to tell the victories, or they get a chance to paint the narrative, but to me, I feel like you can do a lot of great, and I feel like the good can outweigh the bad. I truly do feel that way. I'm a heart to heart.
All right, so
Not Hitler status though. I can't do it.
yeah.
Like I could forgive you, but it's gonna have to be from a distance. Like I said, if I'm in close proximity to you, it's just there's no way.
What about your shirt that you got on? So let's just say that I poured Kool-Aid on half of it. Would your shirt be dirty now?
Yes.
But what about the clean side?
Yeah. It's still clean on that portion of it, but the whole totality of the shirt is dirty.
So do you think that we can apply that same example and illustration to human beings? When you do something that is so dirty, what about if there was just a little spot right here on your shirt? Would the shirt be dirty then?
Technically, the shirt is dirty because I'm wearing it, but I get your point. Yes, it will be dirty, because yeah,
But
not as
would
dirty.
Would it?
Well, I got a spot on it. It's not particularly dirty. Like
There you go.
it's not oversaturated with
There you
filth.
go. It's still wearable.
Yes.
Some shit you gotta throw away. You can't fucking wear that. Can't use it anymore. It's beyond damaged. Some shit you might even be able to wash out and clean it through the proper technique of cleaning, but some stuff is just so dirty that it can't be used anymore. And I think that we might be able to get that same example out of human beings. Some shit is just like, bro, you fucked up too much. But what about forgiveness? So what is forgiveness, Jazz?
Forgiveness is an action.
When you tell somebody that you forgive them,
Like in my head, it's like before I can forgive you, there has to be a conversation.
Right.
Like I can't just flat out forgive you and a conversation not be had, because like for me, if I say I forgive you and we don't have a conversation, and I feel like, I don't know, throughout the day, oh, you did something deliberately, I'm gonna be irritated, I'm gonna bring that up, and then for what? If I said I forgave you,
love you.
it don't matter after that.
So I feel like
Wait a minute.
okay, go ahead.
I was breaking a little prayer with Kylie. Run that back for me, Jazz, one more time. Just to reiterate for the people so they understand what it needs to do. Or let me set you up with something better than that. Let me set you up with something better than that. Check your mic real quick for me, Jazz.
Yeah, we good.
Okay. All right. So, forgiveness.
Mhm.
Can you forgive somebody but remember what they did to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, what about if you hold back trust because someone
Then I didn't
did
forgive you.
something? You don't?
If
Ooh,
I'm
that's a
holding
good
back
one.
trust, then I do not forgive you.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I do not. I can't fully forgive you if I don't trust you.
That's a good one right there.
Is that right? No.
What you
I
mean?
disagree. I think
Why?
I disagree with that. But let me.
No. But why?
Because I think that forgiveness means to not retaliate.
Right.
But I
I have to
think
have
that-
understanding though if I'm gonna forgive
I have
you.
a different.
I just think I think that forgiveness means I'm not going to come after you
Right.
for what you did to me.
Right.
But
if I don't
that's
trust you, that's
forgiveness.
craziness.
Well, no, I can forgive you by not retaliating, but still understand the lesson to not fuck with you like that anymore.
Yeah. But
Coming to you, Lily.
But if I don't fuck with you no more, then I don't trust you.
But we're
But
talking about
trust
forgive.
is not forgiving.
Yeah.
Trust don't have nothing to do with
Yes,
forgiving.
it do for me.
So
Because if we have a conversation and it's on the level of forgiveness, I need to understand why you did what you did.
what I saw in that was the part what was eye opening to me was I've been that person before where it's like I said I forgave somebody, but I still held it over their head like in my heart.
You gotta get all that shit out.
So I truly did forgive them because forgiveness, I don't feel like it's that retaliation factor. I think forgiveness is for myself, like my own peace of mind to say, I'm no longer holding this burden because the person who wronged you, not 10 times out of 10, ain't even thinking about it no more. Like they already wronged you, they already moving on with whatever. Right. Like those people go from scam to the next scam, or heartbreak to the next heartbreak, or F over to the next F over, and it's like, but I should be able to update with the new.
But here's my thing.
Download.
If you my friend and you just moving on and you don't give a fuck, again, I don't trust you. I can't be around you. There's like the forgiveness. I can forgive you at that point because you moving weird, but after that, like, again, I can't trust you. I feel like I don't know.
So
I can't do it. I can't do it.
So you're a dog lover, right?
Yeah.
So have you ever been bit by a dog before?
Yeah.
Did you trust a dog after it bit you?
It took a minute.
But you did trust the dog.
I got bit in my shoulder and my butt at like 7. And I am 32 and I just got dogs last year. So it took a minute. But that's what I'm saying. The trust has to be built back up.
Why if like
That's crazy. If you wrong me.
Wait a minute. Wait now. Hold on. If somebody I just think forgiveness means to come after with vengeance, retaliation, or seeking, like you're seeking some type of payment for what was done to you in one way or another. Like, for example, if a business, like let's say a business got a loan, right? Somebody says, man, I forgive your debt. That doesn't mean that they have to loan the money to you again. That just means you don't have to pay them back what you agreed to pay them back.
Why would I even have that person around me then?
It's not that. I'm talking about a business loan.
I know, but still in the context of forgiveness.
You might not have, like, if you tell somebody they don't got to pay you back, but you say, man, look, bro, but I can't borrow. You can't borrow any more money from me because you didn't pay me back the first time.
See, when you bring up forgiveness, I'm thinking of something that's like heavier.
No, look. That is me. Look.
No, I'm just saying
I will let somebody
forgive in
look. If someone calls my phone and they say I need or I want to borrow, I got two different pockets of thought. Right? I need means okay. If I got it to give it away, here. Right? Borrow means I'm expected to be paid back. But if you take it too long to pay me back, eventually I'm gonna wash my hands with you
because you don't trust them. Thank you. It comes back down to trust. I feel like you can't really move how you want to. I don't care if you're a stranger. Like, if the trust isn't there, I don't care if I know you 50 years. If you wrong me, it's dead unless we had a conversation.
Can you trust a snake to be a snake?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you'll know what environment to deal with a snake to where you don't get bit, you don't be harmed by it, but you trust and know that it's a snake.
That's what I was just saying. Why would I have somebody like that in my corner if I can't?
No, but you trust and know that it's a snake. So you do trust it. You just trust it in a different way. I trust and know.
I trust that you're moving foul. We're nothing. I'm not gonna say I'm way too old, but I'm too old to be dealing with it.
Like for instance, in that dog analogy, right?
Right.
When the dog bit me, I had to look at what was the extenuating circumstances that led to me being bit. Was it the dog was just riled up, or did I go grab the bone out of its bowl while it's eating?
Right. Cause and effect.
Exactly.
What I said earlier. If I want forgiveness, we gotta have a talk. I have to have understanding on why you did me the way you did me. Because for me, I know I'm sweet. and I ain't do nothing to deserve it.
Mm.
So we for sure gonna have a conversation. And if you don't want to have a conversation, that's cool. I'm not gonna force you, but just know from that point forward, our relationship is either different or done. Like, I'm not gonna move the same with you.
Call the show 937-991-0025. We just building on forgiveness. You tell us what you think forgiveness is. Can you forgive somebody but still not trust them for how they wronged you? Jazz says no. P says
yeah.
I say yeah. I say that you can forgive somebody without trusting them anymore.
Yeah.
Because, like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Right.
But I can forgive you without letting you turn me into a fool. You know what I'm saying?
Or you hardening me in that way. Like
why should I be full of anger and angry with
Anytime
somebody?
I gotta be angry.
I think if you don't forgive somebody for something that they do, is it okay?
I said that I can forgive you, but I'm just gonna move away from you.
Maybe it's okay for you not to forgive. Is it okay for you not to forgive somebody?
Yeah. If
But
you
just
did me
forget
that,
about it? Can
but
you
here's the
just forget
thing.
but not forgive.
I feel like that's a problem in a lot of people's
Damn, I think
friendships,
it's
though.
better. I'm ready to forget shit but not forgive. I forgot that you did that shit.
If you
But when
slap
I run
me in my
across you
face
again,
right
I'm
now,
gonna remember.
when I run across you again, I'm like, nah, I don't
Snake.
forgive you for that. I just forgot about that shit. Go.
exactly.
yeah.
Like, if
that's
you
what you
slap
gonna do.
me, I'm gonna walk like there's no conversation to be had. You feel me? Like, you did me super dirty. Why would I ever talk to you again?
So
That's what I'm saying. There's levels to it.
what about the philosophy if somebody does slap you to offer them your other cheek?
Huh?
If somebody slaps you and you say, hey,
You see my face, right?
hit me again to get rid of that anger out of you, do you see the wisdom in that?
No. Why would I do that?
Why? What about if somebody steals something from you and you say, hold on, wait a minute, they steal a $10 bill from you and you say, hold on, wait a minute now, here is another 10 and you didn't steal that from me, I just know that you needed it, but let me try to give you
Nah.
a little bit more.
Because to me, there still needs to be a conversation had. Why are you stealing from me? Like, people's circumstances are what they are. I'm not saying I'm gonna be chewing this person out, because obviously if you're in my house and you're close to me to be able to steal from me, I trust you. So what's going on? Why did you do this? Because either I am gonna give you that other 10 or you gotta get the fuck out.
But every time someone stole something from me, I was always blessed more in virtue than what they took from me.
And I want you to dig deep and tell me why you would give somebody something more after they stole from you. I mean, like
What would be
I want it to be coordinated with them stealing. So they stole. They said the Bible says if somebody steals your shirt, give them your jacket too. Basically, why would they say something like that?
Because you might be in that situation.
No.
Yeah, that is why.
I don't. Now wait a minute. I'm asking you something. Why? I want to know the philosophy behind it. Not because you would be in that situation. What is the philosophy behind giving somebody something after they just stole something? Giving them more than what they stole from you.
I don't know. Tell me.
See?
It's because obviously they needed it and you have more than them and you have enough to spare. If you didn't have to get if they didn't personally snatch the shirt off your back, then you had one to lend.
Now, my thought on that is that when you do that, I think that it is making you in more control of the situation and control of like how you perceive things. So listen, look, like you're only offended if you choose to be, right? So you're offended when you choose to be. So when somebody does something to you, right? Like, let's take a white boy that just walks right up to you and be like, you ain't shit but a dumbass nigga. Nigger.
Damn.
Like,
Hard.
if you allow that sentence to control you and make you react into one way or another, you gave control of yourself.
So hold on. Back to your thieving analogy. So because they stole from me, I'm not supposed to react a certain way?
Exactly.
Why?
Because you're not. You keep control over yourself the whole time, and then you don't let them steal it from you. You give it to them.
Okay, so if it happens the next time?
So
No, that's when. Wait a minute. You remove yourself from that situation, okay? But at
Oh,
the
so you're
same time,
saying lend them help and then basically shut the deuce.
all I'm saying is don't let anything control you except for you. And
Right.
when somebody steals something from you, if you was to just be powerful enough and dig deep enough to say, here's more because you're in a fucked up situation, I just think that you are becoming just stronger, wiser, and just better.
And
Just better and in more control of it. You know,
We deal
like,
with that through day to day though, so I'm not understanding.
but it's crazy like you say that, because when I went to Band of Brothers, which is funny, we talk about hugging trees. That's where it's out there in the nature. We didn't have cell phones, stuff like that. There was a video clip. I'm not know the name of the movie, but there was a guy who was recently released from jail, and this is back in like horse and carriage days. He goes to a person's house while it's raining. The person opens the door. It's him and his wife there. The guy says, "Hey, I just got out of prison. I'm not gonna lie to you. I need to get some shelter for the night." He says, "Let me see your paperwork to make sure like you're not no murderer." And I guess he showed him he's a thief. So he says, "All right, come on in." So he fed him, he clothed him, and in the middle of the night, he steals all of their precious stuff. Right. The guy comes up, sees him doing it. He punches him and he falls down. And then he leaves. He gets captured by the police. The police bring him back. And while he's sitting with a shiner, he says, "No, he didn't steal that from me. I gave it to him." And he actually said, "You know what? You also left some of the other things I gave to you. Went and gave him way more." It's funny you say that, man. Man, like your global consciousness is you were joking about it earlier, but yeah, real talk. So in this lesson, it was trying to say more or less like he actually did worse by him doing that to a person that would actually do that. And that person who gave him that lost nothing. And the person who did it lost more.
I think that once it's all about controlling yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think that once you're able to just kind of like control yourself. It's not about controlling others. That's like, to me, when I look at women who are like in battered relationships. How can I say this? The women who are being controlled by these men, and they are allowing the men to control. Like, they're just going along. I ain't gonna say allow. Yeah,
I'm waiting for you to finish your thought. Come on.
I am saying it in a way, like they kind of are allowing. Like, they ain't necessarily never bucked back up at the man. They just kind of like just listening, like yeah, going along with whatever he say. By her doing that, like, she's in control in a way too. You know what I'm saying? Because she has the control to one day be like, hell nah, I ain't doing that no more. And then once she does that, then he like loses all the control. He's only controlling her because she is kind of like forfeiting that without any type of pushback. But once she does give that pushback, then he's going to be like angered, out of control.
Exactly.
Out of control. He might do something that's out of control in order to try to seize that control back. But what I'm saying is, by her allowing him to control her, and just by saying, okay, whatever you say, cool. She always has that power to say no. And then once she does that, she just, the power shift. I mean, for that moment that she says no and the shit ain't going his way anymore, she's changed the whole dynamic of that relationship.
Did she change the dynamic or did she make it worse? Because it's not that easy for you to just switch it up on a domestic violence type tip.
Well,
because yeah, she might be sick of it, but at that point in time, like, unfortunately, she deep in there to where it's got to be some shit like, I gotta pack up my kids and shit in the middle of the night to try to escape this dude.
True. I mean, my mom, look at this, stolen the book about her by Elyon. My mom,
I know.
She wanted to speak right there. That's what knocked the book
my
off.
mom. You see what I'm saying? That is true what you're saying.
Because I feel like,
But at the same time, at the same time though,
Mm-hmm.
like control of yourself too is like controlling your choices.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, if anything, like my mom's example is to say choose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have my mom want people to don't get it started.
Right.
Man, like appreciate the nature, appreciate the boring, appreciate the chill.
Mm-hmm. The
You know
nerd
what I'm saying?
dudes. Yeah, I got
My
you.
mom, because that's her message. Because so many times, man, you want something until you get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the responsibility that it takes to keep that thing is so overwhelming, you wish you didn't have it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What's your stance on like misguided trust then? Like, is there such thing as misguided trust if we have this whole divine purpose on how everything supposed to run its course? Like everything happened for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So can you really do misguided trust, or is this a part of
I mean,
the process?
yeah, people change all the time.
Does everything happen for a reason?
I've seen too many.
I feel like it's
coincidences.
50-50.
Mm.
And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about like being a Christian or being
Some
agnostic.
shit don't happen for a reason, bro. Some shit is just an annoying mistake and irritation. I mean, but it could make you more patient, I suppose, if you want to just try to figure out a way. Or you can say everything has a seed of equivalent benefit to it that happens to you. So if you want to look at shit like that, like, okay, what can I get out of this fucked up situation? You can find the seed of equivalent benefit in this thing, but
Are you just a mouse in a rat race at that point though? Because yeah, you found this cheese, but you're still in this fucking maze.
I think so.
Nah.
I think so. I think
I mean,
that all of this shit is just like
it
completely
depends.
bullshit. Like I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am. I don't know none of this shit. I don't even know. Like, bro, I have absolutely no idea of my purpose on this earth and this experience. I don't know what life is
Facts.
at all. And I wonder, am I in a simulation? I wonder, am I just a fucking character in a video game that somebody else is controlling on a higher dimension? I wonder, is everything that I'm doing right now just a part of some simulated program that I'm actually running for myself? Am I just a part of God's consciousness so he can kind of have a human experience through me? Because shit that I ask for, I get a lot of times, man. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be so easy that I'm like, damn, did I manifest this thing? Like, as part of this simulation that I'm in.
Well, ain't that your life path number though? Also, as a master manifester.
Well, I'm 8, and 8 is manifestation. 8 is the infinity sign, and it's like kind of like money, material.
Oh, we got one, or is that?
Nah, that's my
No.
storefront ringing. But, I don't know.
I feel like we all go through that though.
We do. Of course we do.
Like the Truman Show.
Right.
But are like am I even real, or am I just a part of this simulation that you living out, Jazz?
My alien can come get me at any point in time. I'm with you. Honestly.
I'll assure you that when I go out of your eyesight, my life is still going on. I'll at least assure you that. I can't say about everybody else,
But when I'm out of yours, is mine.
Don't mess with me like that, man.
Because I'm just like, I'm a part of your program.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying though. Like, bro, like, man, it's so much shit floating.
Let him cook. He on to something.
It's so much shit floating going on around us.
What
literally
though? Pinpoint just one thing. And I'm not attacking you. I'm trying to feed off of you.
You're saying what is something that's around us that we don't see?
Right.
Air.
Oxygen,
Clearly.
carbon,
There's things called teratogen.
gases, like the electromagnetic spectrum, all of these different waves, sound waves, waves of light. Like all of this shit that we see is like just a reflection or some shit. I don't even know how this shit works. I just been hearing about it.
No, you're right.
And
Light
then
reflecting
just-
off of shit.
Well, what about what's going on inside your body right now? And all the trillions of cells and shit.
You know what's
that's just
crazy
going on.
about that? I have this talk with so many people. Like, it's mind-boggling how, like, if I pinch you right now, you're gonna feel that shit instantly, but it goes to your brain before, like, it even tells you that that shit fucking hurts.
Right.
Bruh.
Like, that's crazy. Also, your brain and your heart still work after you die. Heart not so long, but the brain, I think, can take up to 24 hours till it completely just, like, shuts off. But stuff like that, yeah.
The part that kills me is that our eyeballs is like, our eyeballs is something our brain is interpreting of everything we have going there, and it's like a meat or a muscle or something like that. Like,
Right.
how?
Yeah, you said that before, and I thought that was
Wet hard drives?
Yeah, how?
I don't know.
And it's HD quality. Like,
podcast.
You know, it's funny that you brought that up. My son is autistic. And one thing that I learned is we all have synapses I want to say at the age of 5 is when we start to lose them. But people with autism, they keep more.
After the graduation.
So you bringing up the brain and
yeah.
like how it works and all that. Intriguing.
Okay. All right.
It is. What's more intriguing also is just like the small differences between us all, such as you could take a teacher in Baltimore and a teacher in the deep South, and we have different dialects. Like, how come we have different,
Babylon?
like, anybody from Baltimore with the you
Oh, I know. I used to live in Maryland. They're
Tupac?
definitely different from everybody. Any state I've ever lived in. They're a different breed, how they dress, how they talk, but they're cool.
What makes these small pockets of different types of people, even though we're all the same?
I don't know.
Or are we not all the same?
This from Los Angeles, California.
I feel like
Answer.
Answer it. Let's see.
It's Brown.
You sure can.
you wish.
Yo. It's 400.
He said, no. He said, no. I'm
The
about
only
to bet
reason
3.
why, man, is one shirt is $20, bro. So you know, if you getting 50 of them, I mean, essentially that would be $1,000.
This is a commercial break
So
right now,
if,
guys.
If you're getting,
But also, back on the
100
brain.
of
You know how, like, people have surgery or whatever? And, like,
so it's
they'll
more
be
than about
talking
you give
Spanish,
them
never
free.
spoke Spanish, and like
Yes.
speak it fluently, can play the instrument, like little stuff like that. It's just
Man, I watched this one thing where like this guy's brain shrunk to the size of like super
his entire
small.
brain.
His entire brain did that because
You
he
probably
had
ain't
some
gonna never
degenerative
come out cheaper
disease
than making
Hey,
that
yo.
made his,
But I'm gonna make them
it's something in there that compressed
It's
it,
gonna be right.
and he still didn't lose anything. Like they caught up later on because he started fumbling
Yes, sir.
later on, but it went on for years, like 30
Let me do
years.
it, bro. I got you.
That's wild.
What was it called? Meningitis or something like that? He had meningitis when he was younger, and they was like
Okay.
untreated or
What now?
something. I may be messing it up.
The only other one I can think
I
of
watch
is,
all the weird stuff in the world.
it starts with a
If
C.
you get the back, it's gonna be more.
Anyway,
You can do it.
You ever drinking right now?
$4 per shirt.
I mean, this is
Screen
chill.
printing.
This what percentage?
Not saying.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I could
alright.
probably do 50 in the same
Yeah.
day, but not screen printed too. on the back.
1880.
Yeah. This ain't an ad, guys. This ain't an ad.
It's not.
Oh, they ain't sent us no
But this is
bread.
my first time having Taylor Port. Go get you some. It's all right.
Welcome to the table.
The
pork for the Taylor, the Taylor report.
Nah, I'ma bring Jack next time.
Uncle Jack is cool with us.
Uncle. That's the big dog.
I always put Uncle before Spice. So
depend on-
Oh,
Uncle
okay.
Taylor,
Okay.
Uncle Jack.
I got you.
Uncle Carlos.
Come through first thing in the morning because
Rossi.
we close and we on the podcast.
You ain't never had Carlos Rossi?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Man, that's Uncle Los.
What is that? Is that
Uncle
tequila?
Los. Nah. It's like
Carlos
wine. Uncle Los.
Carlos Rossi.
But what is it?
It's Carlos.
It's multiple different ones. They come in a big old flute.
Wine. We drink.
Oh,
wine.
okay. I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you ever look back in the day, all the old school people used to put
Dang.
change in them.
I'm about to go look it up at Kroger too. My next go around.
So we talk about the difference between like, okay, down south compared to other different places, right? What about the things that we all share within our culture that is like our parents had this these sayings that we all use.
Oh, not Boo Boo the Fool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does that type of stuff come from? Who was the originator of these type of things? Like, I always think was, who was the first girl to run off the stage at Maury? She owned residual. Her IP has been stolen. The first person to run off, they owe her a check, man. Nah, but seriously, where do we get these connections to our past? And what does it truly mean in the fabric of our existence?
I think, and this kind of taps back on his book, and when he was talking about his ancestors from way back when, I feel like us trying to make something for ourselves is the key. That's why, like, we can connect so easily to other Black people, is that everybody had a set rule and we just passed it down.
What do you think, bro?
I mean, with stuff like words and stuff like that, like just phrases and stuff, I just think that we just get them from one generation to the next, and stuff kind of like goes in cycles.
Without the internet, it's like before the internet came out, these are global sayings between Black people.
It's just language, though, bro. It's language, you know, language, just like all words are passed down from generation to generation.
That's right.
And including
that's
phrases that
word.
we come through, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's word. Word to your mama.
But see, the other one.
But that, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, but phrases do die out too, and we start thinking
Job
like,
turkey.
Right, like things like that.
I'm bringing it back.
Really, you for sure. And then like, but some stuff like the word cool, it stands the test of time. What's up? That stands the test of time. But like little shit, like we used to say, man, that's nutty. That used to mean like that's nice, that's major, sure. That look good, that's sweet. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I think that that's how that stuff happens. But what about stories that are even more universal? Like, so let's go with Christ.
Okay.
Do you think that Christ is a real man, real story, Son of God, died on the cross for your sins? And he was the Son of God, and he performed all the miracles that it says in the Bible.
They about to say I'm damn the hell. But
Right.
I'm asking. I'm serious.
For me,
yeah, go ahead.
like obviously I grew up.
Okay. Do you believe Christ is an actual person that died for your sins? He's the Son of God. He died for your sins.
For me, yes and no. Yes, because I grew up with my mom sending me to church on a little bus and whatnot. So I guess as a kid having that something to believe in, but now that I'm older, this is where like I have the confrontation with being a Christian or being agnostic, because like I can't see, I can't feel, I can't touch. Like there's
what is an agnostic?
Somebody that doesn't necessarily, to me, somebody that doesn't necessarily have like a religion, but they believe in something, like the universe is backing you, there's aliens, whatever. Whatever is your comfort, your blanket. I feel like that's what agnostic is.
And I'm going to go with the safe and controversial answer of, if you believe that he died for your sins, then he's absolutely truth, right? But our belief in this thing is this glaring question of, did God create man or did man create God? Right? I have a slide up already that we'll have to get to, whatever, but I looked up the GPI, which is the Global Peace Index, right? So basically, like, this is better than the crime rate. So this takes in totality of murders, crime rate, their global problems with other areas. It takes in a whole lot of more different factors rather than just crime rate, murder, things of that nature, right? Homelessness is also a factor of this as well. And the top 10 for the Global Peace ranking are all places that are either atheists or not all believe in one religion. And it ranks from 1 down to 140. The United States is 135 on this ranking, right? So to me, I feel like a lot of people use Christianity or whatever religious belief they have to say, hey, so for instance, if you said something against somebody right now and they would say, hey, I'm a Christian, they'll say that to try to play some type of sense of morality in you when they say that. Or they'll say, hey, I'm religious, right? But the most violent places are places that believe in religion. Like we had holy wars and things of that nature. Some people were killed in the name of Christ than anything else.
When ISIS was doing all that, basically like their temples and stuff.
For sure.
Destroying all their artifacts.
For sure. So to answer your question,
you said ISIS was destroying Christian artifacts?
They were just destroying artifacts, period. But it's still a religious thing.
So to answer your question, I'm going to say I do not know the answer, but what I am going to say is I see a plagiarized story. I see gaps in the story. I see where things have inconsistency. I mean, there's the same story of Horus where they're talking about a virgin who give birth to someone that was prophesied to happen, and then for these same things to come fruition again later on, maybe they say he was always prophesied over. Okay, cool. But then please in that Bible explain how come they don't include that part of the story.
That was me. I was like, why aren't dinosaurs in this? Is this that little thing that for me, I try to like kick out of my head to keep me from, I guess, believing in the Christian word, but also.
And I remember them saying that they let Adam name all of the
animals. Yeah.
When the dinosaurs happened, then you know what I'm saying. And I mean, like we see reptiles today. I mean, because maybe somebody say, "Hey, dinosaurs don't exist." By all means, have a blast with that, right? But what I'm saying is, go ahead.
Well, I did want to ask you guys, like, so do you agree that something happened a long time ago that's not happening now?
You can't. Okay. Hold on. I can't rule that out.
Jack got the ball in the face.
I can't rule that out because of like.
Damn, that's.
Like, look at all like the Mayans, right? They have like clay or pottery or whatever where like they've made distinctions of like somebody in a spaceship or whatever. How do they know what like an aircraft looks like? You feel me? So like I can't rule it out, but also like I wasn't alive back then. I don't know what the hell they were saying. It could have been a really weird ass bird.
I'm asking you, did something happen in the past that is not happening now?
That's tough.
Right.
Damn.
I don't know.
That's probably one of the greatest questions.
I'm going to say yes, because the government is what they are, and they probably got some shit in a bunker somewhere.
Well, what about the creation of human beings?
What's the question on that?
The question is the creation of human beings, the very first human, is that process happening now?
Huh?
Yes, people are being created by the way of fornication.
First human being. Is that process happening now?
No.
So wait.
I mean,
Don't wait. I'm not.
If you talk.
So wait.
Jazz.
Go ahead. No, let Peanut. Peanut been trying to get something off his chest. Go ahead, Peanut.
Let me hear what you got.
So they have the James Webb telescope that they literally just got a chance to see things that are changing the way we view outer space to begin with, such as they're changing their theory on the Big Bang theory, such as because there are new galaxies that are flourishing faster than we could fathom what could actually happen. So to me, I feel like God never stopped creating, right? So if God is this imminent being that is just dark matter that is creating this and crafting out the sky to create these universes that have the perfect climates and things of that nature to produce
you got some over there?
sustaining life forms.
I do.
Right?
I'll
be pompous and arrogant for me to act like I know what's going on in those distant galaxies.
Exactly. But you know what's so crazy? Like the radio signals and shit. That shit trips me out.
Yes.
But I know that's not the question. Bring me back down.
So I say he probably still in the pot mixing.
Okay, so
he probably still whipping up right now.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna change my answer because at first I was saying fuck no because I was taking it too literally. But I meant a test tube, baby. You are talking literally?
Let me hear you. You just said some good
okay,
stuff.
say that question one more time.
Right now,
yes.
Is man being created the way that he was? The very first man. Is man being created the way the very first man was?
maybe not in that instance because God took.
Well, this you have to.
I'm
Just,
coming.
The answer is yes or no.
No, it's not.